Hey, it's Geek Public Radio right here on geekpublicradio.com. I am Topher, and with me, as usual, is Crazy Chris.
What's up?
We are hanging out talking about a whole lot of stuff, but on the plate today is the question: would you put a chip in your brain to know more?
To link?
To link.
Or not to link?
That is the question.
That is the question, indeed. Topher, how the hell are you, man? How was your weekend?
I am not doing too bad. Ranting as normal.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But and then doing odd things to the space.
I don't think they're odd. I think space looks great. Desk looks good. We got all the octopus arms coming up out of the desk. We've got all the cables and
we're one thing away from looking like a full-fledged real radio station. I mean, we are. Well, yeah, that too. I mean, we are a real radio station, but like that is the one thing, and that should be coming soon.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited. A lot of great things going on. If you guys would like some great things, you can check out geekpublicradio.com. Go there. You can find all of our archived videos, things that we've done in the past, things that we might be doing in the future even. You can find some of the articles that we've written about various subjects that we discuss on the show and elsewhere. And of course, if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe on Rumble. You can find us on Twitter, Xbox, TikTok. You can find us on all the social media platforms. Just look for us, Geek Public Radio. We thank you guys so much for joining us. As Topher has alluded to, we're going to be talking about Neuralink today and the implications thereof. It's exciting stuff for tech heads like Topher and for more barbaric people like me. I'm sure we're gonna
wouldn't do it.
Oh my God, like right out of the gate, really?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, just give it away. All right, thanks for coming, everybody. I'll talk to you.
No,
I've got various misgivings about the entire thing.
Well, no, it would be cool to be like, whoa, I know Kung Fu. But,
whoa.
But
shout out Matrix. That's awesome.
But no, that would be cool and all.
Right.
But like the whole, because one of the things he's talking about was like, well, there'll be no misunderstandings. People will be able to transmit back and forth through the link, in the network. And I was like, yeah, that's all I need is somebody walk by and be like, you thought my butt looked good.
Right. And then we would have an awkward conversation about that. No, I've got my misgivings. Like most of them are going to be practical. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting my food. Sorry. Anyways, the reason that we're talking about this, the reason that we're bringing this up is that over the last week or give or take a few days, they have done the first successful implant of Neuralink in a human being. Clinical trials are underway. You can actually go to their website right now and you can actually sign up for their clinical trials if you would like to do that. That is something you can go do.
Yeah, no, like imagine beta, something going wrong beta wise, like beta testing. Well, I mean, this is like kind of alpha testing. So you're alpha testing this whatever. Like, how come I taste the purple?
Why does the number 42 come up green? Every time I touch myself, it hurts. Something like that. And by the way, that I meant that in like I touch my skin and it hurts.
Yeah,
thing.
no, yeah,
relax. Yeah,
totally the other way.
Yeah, not the other way. No,
no, we're totally taking it the other way.
Yeah, of course you are, because you guys are disgusting. Bunch of heathens out there. I've been reading this. It's been pretty fascinating to me because any type of groundbreaking medical stuff I always pay attention to, which is why during the COVID stuff, I actually did just a metric ton of homework. So usually when people would argue with me about it, I'd be like, no, you're absolutely incorrect. There are thousands of medical journals that have been chronicling these things. Like, we don't know a lot because it's relatively
You're
new,
wrong, and let me tell you why.
Yeah, exactly. So I was one of the first ones that like I objected pretty heavily to the vaccine.
Yeah.
I thought it was a stupid idea. At the time, I did my homework, I did my research on it, and I was like, this is just foolishness.
Right.
This is foolish. It takes decades to refine a vaccine. This is foolish. And I'm not knocking anybody that got it. I mean, knock yourself out. That's your choice. It's your body. I'm not going to sit here and tell you.
Yeah, no, seriously, go and knock yourself out.
It may be that too. But yeah, so I'm looking at this Neuralink thing, and for as refined as it is, like you mentioned, man, we're in alpha testing. This could be Like maybe this first implant guy, he might end up being patient zero. You never know. The zombie apocalypse didn't come in the form of a virus. It came in the form of a computer chip.
That got a virus.
Oh, now we're talking some serious sci-fi. I love this.
I want to make that movie.
Oh, it's on copyright right now. We're calling it. We're copywriting the. We'll call it the woke. Oh wait, no, can't do that. We'll call. No. So, anyways, on the Neuralink. Topher's got an article pulled up here, but before we start jumping into that, I want to talk about the method of implant is actually pretty refined. Like they've actually, yeah.
Well, I mean, they've been putting stuff in your brain for a long time.
Yeah. Oh, that's nothing new. So the Neuralink,
this time the
Neuralink interface or N1 implant records neural activity through 1,024 electrodes distributed across 64 threads. Highly flexible, ultra. This is their website, by the way. This is not me. Right. This is just not independent research. This is directly from them. Are the key to minimize damage during implantation and beyond. So there is a robot because they cannot connect the threads by hand. There's a robot that gets down on the microscopic level and actually implants these things into your brain. The goal being, of course, for people to be able to interact with machinery, such as your phone, mobile devices, wheelchairs, motorized wheelchairs, things like that.
Stuff like that would be cool.
Your Tesla, for instance.
Walk by and be able to
tell your refrigerator to cool down a couple of degrees because you want to have a cold beer.
Or, your refrigerator tells you, hey, you're out of food.
Yeah, exactly. Or your refrigerator, like, hey, I noticed I'm a couple of degrees warmer than usual. Do you want me to turn down a little bit? Oh, yeah. If you could do that, that'd be great. Thanks.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be like a thing. It would be like,
you would just know.
No, like, oh, well, yeah, turn down.
Turn the temperature down 2 degrees. Or like walking into your house or before you pull up to your driveway, right? Hey, your wife is inside. She's pretty pissed off.
No, because
things like that would be pretty cool.
If she has one too, then she knows like you can't back out because she know you're like.
Oh, could you imagine? Oh, hold on a second.
So she'd be like, I know where you're at.
I just thought about the horror stories involved. Could you imagine getting the Neuralink, right? And your wife also having the Neuralink, right? And she's sitting inside the house and she's doing whatever she's doing. She just gets home from work and, you're late. And so she and the house start an entire conversation about you.
Yeah. And
then you walk in the door and then immediately you're assaulted by both the house and your wife. You can hear the house nagging at you. You left the refrigerator door open. You didn't shut the garage door. You left the toilet seat up twice. Like, that would be the most horrible argument. But, like, I took the trash out and the house is like, no, you didn't. God, that would be awful.
I get the idea of being able to move stuff like, like wheelchairs and whatnot. Oh. That way, if you're fully paralyzed and you can't,
of course,
you can just like move forward, move back.
Quality of life improvement wise, it sounds like a pretty cool thing.
Limb replace amputees, whatever, not having to worry about muscle movement or stuff. It'd be more
or over gripping.
Yeah.
Get your right arm ripped off and then you go to take care of a little bit of business. You accidentally literally jerk yourself completely off. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. So, but that would be my fear though. Like my genuine fear is that
we have a robot hand grabbing a man's penis over here.
Yeah. Like that would be like a horrific, like, and then like, I can't stop doing it. And like, or just as men, like we are taught, of course, women civilize us. And that's the coolest thing about, being with a woman.
You go to scratch your butt and
like just tear off half your ass. Or even worse, like you happen to be walking by. Okay. Let's use your wife as an example, but let's just use random girl walking down the road or, if that's your fancy. Right. And like you mentioned earlier, they got a nice butt. And then your immediate impulse thought is, man, I'd smack that butt. And your hand is just like, got it.
So not only
I really want to punch that guy. Got it. Wham. No. Stop doing things.
Right. But if they have like, it's like incoming thought about your butt.
Yeah. Ping. Somebody thinks you're cute.
Impact imminent.
It would be incredibly crazy.
So that you're like, like, oh no, somebody's got a SWAT lock on me.
So that'd be perfect though. Yeah, exactly. Oh, right. And they put all of a sudden they put their mechanical hand back and they catch it. And you're like, You lost your arm too? Be like, romance initiative triggered. Romance protocol in effect.
See, the funny thing, my first thought is you're not going to ever hear from the first person who's received this.
No.
And if you do, we have nothing but glowing praise about all of this stuff.
Well,
because they're not going to program it to not.
Right.
Elon Musk needs to be our next president.
Exactly. It'll be something along those lines, which I hope that, and see, all I keep thinking, by the way, is like you're plugging into the meta. And guys, I'm so sorry about the squeak. I switched chairs knowing that I'm the fidgety one, and I probably shouldn't have done that.
We just need a big can of WD-40 and just dip the whole chair in it.
Here, I'm going to back up. There we go. Let's do that. There. Okay.
Just dip the whole chair in it.
It's like an oil bath for C-3PO, but it's the chair. My initial thoughts are with, all the joking aside, being able to like plug into your video games or being able to create like your virtual worlds or do all these different things where, I mean, if they can refine this technology, it's going to be available for commercial and recreational use. Like
no, it's just going to revolutionize internet porn.
But that's going to be a big thing too. But you're going to have generations of people that are going to be the fat guys in the chairs from WALL-E. Like that's what's going to happen. That's an inevitability.
Well,
it's a consequence, by the way. People are like, why is America so obese? It's a consequence of convenience. It genuinely is.
Well, it's also the fact that all of our food, like any of the cheap food, is really, really bad for you.
It's extremely, all the cheap food is extremely high in caloric content because of what they use to make the food.
Right. Like many preservatives and all the other
and it's
stuff.
also just filling. I mean, 80% of the meat that you buy is not the best thing that you could be putting in your body. Right. So,
I wouldn't say meat. It's just the processed stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, anything that you buy is processed, even the meat. The meat's heavily processed. It's gone through hormone growth therapies and all these different things. So that's what I'm saying.
Right, but you can get.
I know this is not me saying that GMOs are a bad thing. Like, relax, everybody. That's not what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying it. But
I disagree with you. Without GMOs, we wouldn't have things like lemons. So, I mean, genetically modified organ. That's
we had lemons before we had GMO.
No, that is a GMO. That's quite literally the result of GMO. It's genetically modified organisms.
Well, if you're talking about
it's not organisms. What's the O stand for? Yeah, it is. What? God bless it. It is organisms, isn't it?
Right, but a lemon predated our ability to go to a genetic level and create.
But it was still genetic manipulation. We just didn't realize.
Right. Well, there's a difference between Mayan Indians taking this one seed crop, saying, "Oh, well, if we did this, we would have more kernels, and voila, we have corn."
Just because people now hold on. Just because people used to practice magic and get results doesn't mean that it wasn't a thing. Just because we understand what they were doing now doesn't mean that they weren't doing the thing.
Right. But when you're talking about GMOs, in a sense, you're talking about lab went in and messed with DNA.
Not always.
That's literally what modern GMO is.
Not always. I just read an entire thing from Copper. Copper is one of the leading agricultural manufacturers of all bioengineered pesticides and things like that.
Then entire countries in the nation will not allow food in their borders because they say because there's GMOs.
And that's because there's very, very little way to differentiate. And people can say it's X, Y, and Z type of GMO. This episode was not about GMOs. That'll be a discussion for another time. But the Neuralinks, being able to manipulate the world around you in a virtual space is, I think, something that is too enticing for most people to pass up, right? Generations of people are going to be those fat kids from WALL-E. Like I said, they're going to be stuck in their little hover chairs, which they can control with their mind. Right?
I think they can.
So, I mean, they're going to lose, you're going to lose like functionality and things like this. I mean, it's just a crop. You want to know what my honest opinion about this is? We're going down conspiracy territory right now. You want to know my honest opinion? You ready? I believe that this is alien technology and that they want us to be fat and lazy because we're cattle. I'm serious.
It's a cookbook.
What is the most dangerous species on the entire planet? What is the most dangerous species?
Well, most people would say us, but
it is us. Like, we have the capability to literally annihilate the world.
Right, but you put us in the wrong conditions and we die.
True, but
we're
you
the
put us
most
in
dangerous and the most fragile.
however, if you put us in the right conditions, we would also thrive.
Well,
if you hold on, but wait. What I mean by that is What I mean by that is you could put us in the worst type of conditions, but with the right circumstances, we'd survive. You could, dude. They're in Antarctica right now. They've built bases down there.
Right.
Okay.
And people
nothing
die
lives
there
down
all
there.
the time.
Yeah, and people do die down there. But what I'm saying is, with the right gear and things like we are so adaptable.
Well, no
other species could do that. If you threw monkeys down there, they would die. They would not survive. They would not come up with things to keep themselves.
On about the 400th monkey, I think he would start to figure out
maybe possibly.
I mean, there's entire tribes of monkeys that.
But my point is our ability to adapt is like it's honestly predicated on our opposable thumbs, right? Like that was our huge genetic advantage. Is our opposable thumbs being able to manipulate tools, articulate words and thoughts. Blah, blah, blah.
That and the being able to actually cook our meats.
Right?
Which, well, no, because that actually...
No, you
caused our
correct.
brains to become bigger and more powerful.
But the point is, my conspiracy theory is reliant heavily on the fact that if we are in fact cattle, like a bull is an extremely dangerous animal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ranchers handle them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And all they did was introduce cows. And now the bull, well, sometimes, but the bull sits in that stable knowing that when he gets let out, he's going to get to go hump everything in sight. No, seriously. That's how they keep them tamed. That's it. They literally use the opposite sex to tame them. It doesn't work that way with every animal. You maybe be able to do that with tigers and things like that if you give them enough room to hunt. See, the bull thinks he's free, but he's not. He's a captor. He's a captive, right? And when they get done with the bull, they kill it. Or they sell it off and it goes and lives a happy life somewhere. If you're a person that doesn't want to hear the story, it goes to a farm. Oh, no. But my point.
Well, it came from a farm.
My point is the conspiracy theory, in my opinion, is we're just cattle and they're trying to fatten us up. They're just trying to fatten us up because the rest of us are going to be like, we're going to turn into some real savages if we don't get the Neuralink implant. Because we're not going to be able to buy or sell or eat food. Like, we're going to have to do some crazy stuff.
Nah.
I'm just saying.
Nah.
Just saying, man.
Nah.
It's the inevitability. It's doomsday, bro.
Nah.
That's my wild conspiracy theory for the day. I hope everybody appreciated it.
So, like, what they're saying is the company says it's been searching for individuals with quadriplegia due to cervical spine injury or ALS. Lou Gehrig's disease,
right?
And they're looking for people who are interested in helping linking to train the system so it will be able to do stuff like patch those broken synapses and make the adjustments and possibly give you your stuff back.
Yeah, which all of those noble and philanthropic conditions.
Totally going to be used for porn.
It's totally going to be used for nefarious deeds once the patents run out.
Like, well, no, I'm just like the internet was a great idea. And you go back, and the internet is for porn.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So this is literally just going to be like,
you ever see you watched Gamer, right?
Yeah.
That's my big fear. Because that's honestly, it's really what it's like. Black Mirror has episodes about things like this. Like, this is like perfect world. This thing would be amazing. But we do not live in a perfect world. We are governed by imperfect entities, and we are governed by imperfect thoughts. And eventually, this is my argument against Bernie Sanders. It always was. Do I think that Bernie Sanders was a nefarious, horrible, evil dictator? Nope. I sure do not. I never thought that. Never thought that's who he was. Do I think that he would have instrumented a change in policies that would have paved the way for future dictators? Yes. Yes, I do. And that's the problem. It's never the first guy that comes along. It's always the guy that comes behind him and fixes the, quote, problems that the first guy left behind. That's the issue with things like Neuralink. Do I think Elon Musk is a supervillain? No, but I think if you guys don't leave him the fuck alone, I think he'll turn into one. So maybe stop it. Dude's got Iron Man money and Iron Man technology. Maybe don't turn him into a freaking supervillain, maybe, just maybe, don't do that, because I don't think we would survive if you do that.
So in a separate post, Musk had said that the first Neuralink product is called telepathy.
Because of course it is.
Which he said will enable users to control their phones or computers just by thinking. He added that initial users would be able to would be those who have lost use of their limbs.
Yeah. So people could use their smartphones and things like that, which would be cool.
Like, I can't move my arms or legs, but my balls itch. Can somebody please
scratch my balls? Oh, I couldn't even imagine. I could not even imagine. Well, although I think if you have paraplegia, I'm almost positive that you lose the majority of that feeling. So I don't think.
Well, no, I'm just talking about like if you're like from the music video one.
Oh.
And you look like you're from that one odd cartoon with the girl
one
with the pickle in her head, and like it was the oddballs or whatever.
Oh, are you talking about the oblongs?
Oblongs, yes. So if you're walking around looking like the dad,
I was like, oh, that's so helpful. The odd cartoon. Okay.
So if you look like the dad from the oblongs.
Yeah, good job, sport. I could do his voice. Anyways, yeah, that would be horrible. It'd just be terrible, awful. I can't imagine. I mean, hopefully, listen, the optimist in me, the ever optimist, is like, hey, this is going to be a good thing for society. People are going to enjoy this, and people are going to indulge in their base fantasies without proper direction. That's what they're going to do. There's not a lot you can do to stop that or slow it down other than to like restrict access or use, but you live in a free society. So ultimately you kind of have to let people make their own decisions to a point, obviously there's a point. I'm not trying to get into the weeds on that, just for the most part. So yeah, I think without strong moral fiber, which purportedly Elon has displayed repeatedly. He has consistently displayed strong moral fiber. So hopefully he is the type of person that will be like, nope, I want to put a patent on this for 1,000,000 years and no one can ever have the technology. And,
Laura Cabrera, who researches brain science at Penn State, said that even though Neuralink uses an innovative procedure, robotic surgery, to get the devices into the brain, no one has implanted it before in humans and much remains unknown. Brain surgery is not a trivial thing, she said, pointing out the significant potential risks such as brain hemorrhage or seizures. And I think that we have to be mindful that even though we're using it in a novel way to implant a device, we just don't know if it's truly going to be a safer approach for human patients. She also pointed out the Neuralink's competitors, so there's more than just Neuralink, plan to use their device for just medical applications only, but Musk has been outspoken about going beyond medicine. For example, Musk has talked about implants for masses that will allow people to record everything that happens to them and access the information when they want.
Black Mirror. There's an entire episode about Black. There are like 5
raise
episodes.
Red flags for some.
There's a lot of red flags that.
The funnest part is like we know that he has very bold claims. People are not really assessing the strengths and weaknesses of the technology, and that is something I worry about.
Yeah. Men will never win another argument ever again. Women already have minds like steel traps when it comes to certain things. But
no. If guys can go, this is how it happened. Click.
That's actually pretty accurate.
Like, you said I was fat. No,
that's not what I said.
That's not what I said. Rewind.
Baby, you picked up a couple of pounds. I like the way it looks on you.
Well, I wasn't even going to go that far.
No, see, I didn't say you were fat. I said you picked up a couple of pounds. I like the way it looks on you. See, that's not saying that you're fat. I never said you were fat. You said I was a beached whale. What I said was, we need to go preach at Zales. That is not what you said. Sorry, now I've got the oblongs guy voice stuck in my head. Yeah. So I guess ultimately, guys, the question we're asking you is, I know my answer. Topher has given his at the very beginning.
Yeah, no.
That's going to be a big no from me right now, dog. Like, nah, I'm cool. I don't think so. So I guess for you guys, what do you think? Was this something you would do if you had the ability to? And we're talking about further applications down the road. Obviously, for those people out there that are suffering medically, this might be a cool idea for you to do. Like I said, go to Neuralink.com, sign up for the clinical trials if you want.
Yeah.
Always an option. But what do you guys think, man? Let us know in the comment section. Hit us up on Twitter, on our Instagrams, even on our TikTok. Let us know. Would you guys, or would you do it?
Whatever you do, if you get it, don't let the Germans.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to tell everybody to get it so they can just, log in and see our activity and just be like,
no, I'm saying don't let the Germans start programming your stuff.
No, dude. On that note, everybody.
We'll see you guys in the next video.
All right. Hey, listen, don't be a booty.